Hello, everybody. Welcome to SNKronize. First one in a few weeks, and but we are happy to be back to talk about some SNK stuff. I'm James, and joined here, of course, by Mr. OlafRedland. How are you doing?
Hanging in there, doing all right,
Were
doing
you
all
trying to
right.
pretend to be muted for a second there?
No, 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 no.
Okay,
I was
okay.
trying to get the thing, but like the camera cuts off earlier, and I thought I was actually going to try to finish your arm and point at me.
Oh, dang. Oh,
Yeah, like that, something
there
like
you
that.
go.
Close enough. Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, some people are asked, what are you wearing over
I
here?
am
So,
wearing a incredible, terrible waifu shirt of just a collage of an artist's work. I can't remember the artist's name right now. I totally would plug them if I remember their name offhand. But yeah, it's got some great like Salvaria. It's got Iroha, Angel, boobs everywhere. No big deal.
oh, man. All right. So, people are saying your camera looks a little tilted there. So it looks like you're
Well,
one of the
so I'm
Batman.
literally sitting sideways on a couch, and the laptop is on the arm of the couch.
Ah, okay, okay.
I
Got
might
it,
be able to
got it.
like drag it a little, maybe.
Not so good. You just, they said that they did that in the old Batman episodes because they wanted to represent that the bad guys were crooked, basically, and that's why they tilted the camera angles on all the bad guy views. So there you go. Exactly. Now you just
But
have
so
to get
anyway,
the long cigarette and go meh, 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 meh.
so yeah, we've been gone for 2 weeks. We've had some things happen, but we're here. We're all safe and healthy, and we want to gush about some nerd stuff like we do.
Absolutely, and lots of different things. I mean, obviously, right when we had to cancel that previous episode, that was when Team Samurai came out, and I
Yeah,
know
so we
that,
haven't even gotten to like blah, blah, blah about them.
yeah, I know
Um,
you've actually managed to play them a little bit in some versus matches, right?
and I'm like, after my experience with them and messing around with them, I was really surprised to see how badly and what order Xiaohai ranks them in. Because like
Oh,
that's going to be the first authority you listen to on characters shit or not
right.
is Xiaohai. Like, I mean, a bunch of people have pretty similar opinions, but I was really, really surprised.
Yeah, I
Um,
remember looking at Xiaohai's list. What was it that he had? I forgot.
is right now it's Haomaru is the best of the three, but he's still like ratio 5 out of his. It's Cronin is 15. You're not allowed to play him. Kula is 11, and then it goes 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 down to like Billy and Ramon at 2.
Hmm. Is he
And I think
still play? Is he still playing by like what the 12 points or 13 points or something or?
I think it's actually it's like 18,
Oh,
maybe
okay, okay,
21.
okay.
But
Gotcha,
it's like
gotcha.
literally like if you want to play Cronin, you have to play Billy and Ramon. Like that's where the regulation is. Um,
Man.
I think he puts Hal at like 5 points, and then Darley and Nako both at 4.
Oh, wow.
Like
Okay,
like
okay.
really like thinks they're all shit, and I'm partially inclined to agree.
Hmm.
But we'll get to that in a minute. But one person did note that Xiaohai is one person who is willing to admit too that if this character is not something that fits my playstyle, not something I can really wrap my head around, I'm more likely to knock him down a few points. Like
Hmm.
apparently
Hmm.
Xiaohai does not play zoners. So zoners are always going to be a little lower in his eyes just because that's not something he really vibes with.
Makes sense. Makes sense. And I mean, again, the ratio list that Shanghai puts also takes into account popularity of the
Yeah.
character as well, right? So
Okay,
since the
real quick
teams,
on Noah's. No, there it is.
yeah.
Noah's point here. Billy is a freebie. Coach Steve, I believe, is doing a ratio tournament, and actually put Billy as a free space.
Oh my God, just parking.
Oh, good. Yeah,
Billy is the just parking space of Monopoly. Oh my God.
yeah. Now his original release also had Cronin at 11 and Kula at 10, which means you could play Kula, Billy, Cronin, and you still have a good team.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so I was like, just make Cronin more expensive. It's fine.
Right. Oh man.
I'd
Yeah.
certainly rather see like Kula Yashiro Billy than
Yeah. than
Cronin
anything
at
with
all.
Cronin at this point in time, right? So,
But I mean, in all fairness, we're on what 8 months of me saying I never wanted him back to begin with.
I mean, look again. It's funny because like that character, like I mean, I knew when he was coming back and when he was revealed, I was actually surprised at how kind of like regular he was. Like I really thought he was gonna be like a weirder character, but it's just like fireball,
He's really
DP, spin
simple
kick.
function.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Actually, I just realized it's been almost a year now. Because remember, he was in one of the betas, which means it's been about a year since I was pissed he came back. Yeah.
The beta where he couldn't cancel his slide when it was chained into, but now you can. So, ooh, boy. Yeah. But, yeah, so Team Samurai right now. I mean, obviously Nako seemed like she was going to be really strong. It seems like the problem of them extending their hurt boxes early with Haomaru and Darlie is particularly bad. Like, Whip has the problem, but even Whip doesn't seem like it's this bad, right?
No, because Whip has more range and a little more speed in her moves, or at least has also like more trajectory on the hurt box, like her sweep. Yeah, it has an extended hurt box, but she's still going to go under a lot of things, so it's fine. Or their anti-air, or their jumping normals that are zoning and are bigger than any of the samurai buttons, or the fact that she can reliably hit crouchers, or the fact that she can actually get jump-in combos without it being as strict as Samurai Showdown.
Right.
Like it's pretty rough for those two. Now, I personally think Darlie is slightly better than Hao, but I also understand that Hao has a fucking DP, and that can go a long way.
Fair.
But I like really just reviewing the functions of the characters, of just like, okay, this is how their light confirms work. This is how these buttons work. I can never imagine a universe where you actually want to play Hao over Geese.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. It sounds like it's the same problem that KOF always has, right? Like, one of the characters just gets deleted by the existence of other characters, right?
Well, I mean, kind of. I mean, the thing is, like, it seems like Geese and Hao would be kind of an odd parallel, because, like, you lose the DP for the counters and everything, but the way a lot of their block strings work, or their pokes and light confirms into whatever, they feel very similar. Like, they both have a very similar FAR 5B. And that's going to be one of their poke and confirm buttons.
Yeah. Okay.
And the fact that Geese can finish a combo and it's good, and Hao has to basically burn meter for an okay combo, or not burn meter for kind of a shit combo.
Right. You're just talking about into the sake bottle or the EX sake bottle, right? Yeah.
Because that's all he can do off of lights.
Yep.
And it's kind of ass. Yeah. His fireballs are fucking terrible.
Even with the fake, huh?
Oh, man.
Oh,
not to mention, like, the fake is actually really finicky. Like, it's like way more strict than it needs to be.
Well, when I was testing it, I found out that you basically have to input the fake right at the start. Like, it has to be like fireball fake, fireball fake, fireball fake. And if you do it any later, it doesn't come out at all.
Yeah, and that's like kind of really finicky. I honestly would rather the input was just down to forward both lights. Like, just connect harder. Instead of just making it the like jankiest break ever. I still like the fact that it's a break input. That's cute. But yeah, just the fact that they can like totally eat shit from full screen, because the hurt box appears before the hit box and lingers after, and it's enormous.
Yeah.
And like, I really don't feel that in most cases what you get for playing them outweighs almost anything.
Right, because I mean, even as far as like a Haomaru standing B is, what is it in comparison to, for example, stand C? What is that in comparison to a Yamazaki stand D, for example, right? Is it really significantly farther?
About the same, I think. Okay. And Yamazaki steps into it.
Right.
Yeah. The one thing I will say is at least like the big AC buttons, they are enormous.
Yeah.
And they're safe. Yeah. And they deal chip damage. So like, cool. If you can play kind of a zony game, like, you're okay. But yeah, like, I think I talked about it on Twitter. Like, I lump the 4 weapon fighters into like their own categories. You got Whip, Hao, Darlie, and Billy.
Right.
Billy's clearly the worst. Whip is clearly the best.
Okay.
And the other two are just somewhere in between.
Interesting.
And like, I mean, Whip's pretty good, and a lot of people are starting to recognize she's pretty good, but she's not like a meta-defining character.
Yeah.
And if you're worse than that,
right,
you're gonna have a bad time.
That's what I was thinking. So literally, Darlie and Haomaru are in that range where they're actually not even as good as Whip is at this point. You feel like, oh man,
no, not by a long shot. Darlie and Hao are both clearly worse than Whip, and it's really a pity.
They were scared.
Shit.
Right. They were scared to make them good. And you just have this funny feeling that at some point in time during the testing, they were probably destroying everybody. Like Stan C with Haomaru was probably just wrecking everybody's dreams and hopes and everything.
Well, we both felt like the AC should have done more damage than it does.
Yeah.
Like, and, you know, now after playing him, like, oh, it's safe. You know what? He can have it. That's fine. He doesn't need to do 300. It's only a super, you know. And, you know, you'd be surprised how much you can actually get away with just throwing it out every so often. How's is 180, and then Darlie's is like 220, I think, base. Yeah. Fucking damage.
And that's the one that if it hits the first one, it like sucks them in to get hit by the rest, right? Yeah. So for sure.
Downside is that it doesn't catch like properly on anti-airs and stuff like that.
And which is rough because everyone's going to be jumping all over the place because it's King of Fighters, right? So
yeah, and especially with the fact that the same hurtbox issue affects like Hao's 2C, which is his anti-air button.
So if they kick early, you just launch your hurtbox into them, and then you just basically get owned up.
And then, like, one of the big things about this is, you know, you figure in, you know, these characters have extended hurt boxes, so they're more likely to lose trade situations. All right, cool. What happens when they fight a character who consistently wins those situations already, like Yashiro? Yashiro has some big-ass buttons that, as us old folks call it, have really good priority, and they just shit on a bunch of other characters on, like, you know, jumping air to air and stuff. Right. You have a character who's natively bad at it, and a character who's natively great at it.
Yeah, it's not a fun pairing.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell Sam Show characters are supposed to do against like Yashiro, because he's just gonna shit on him. He's just gonna play his game, and you're gonna lose. I
mean, again, it feels like, at least for Haomaru and Darlie, that, like I said when I first was messing with them, it really felt like that these characters need to be airborne a lot, like actually just jumping and zoning and just kind of playing this weird, kind of like how you were saying Whip, just neutral jump heavy, right, is really good. Obviously, they don't have something of that caliber, you know, even of Whip's caliber.
It's basically they do a little bit worse of a button, but they do it at every jump. Right. So that's fine.
And so, you know, honestly, that's what it feels like that they're supposed to do, is just kind of jump around a lot, which is really interesting. Yeah, you know,
which then results in stuff like, oh, How's Jump CD actually sucks against crouchers. Great.
Right. Yeah. It has like it looks like it hits really far diagonally down. It looks great, but it just like whiffs against them a lot for some reason.
No, and like you said, it's just they were scared because I mean, one of the characters I love joking about with this, I just equate it back to them, is Doctor Strange in Ultimate Marvel 3.
Yep.
That character kind of ass. He's got some cool things, like mostly you just let him come in and finish your combos, fine.
Right.
If you have to play him, he kind of ass. And he has some very glaring weaknesses, like he can't teleport behind you in the corner. The only other character with that restriction was Phoenix.
Right.
But we didn't want to let him actually play because he probably was way too good at one point in that whole 9 months they had for the game.
He definitely had 8-way air dash at one point in time, you know, and they were probably scared. They were probably just like, no, with all the weapons that he has, 8-way air dash, teleport.
He should have had 2-way air dash. Just at least give him forward and back. Anything. But he had no air mobility other than raw flight and his teleports that couldn't cross up in the corner. And if you notice, that's one of the things they fixed in MVCI, and he was a much better character. And he actually could mix.
Yeah. Well, I mean, his flight was bad just because he had no mobility once he started flying, right? So
general rule after Marvel 2, if you have flight without air dashes, it's not good.
Right.
Like in terms of characters, like if you compared him with every other character who can fly and you pretended none of them could dash, his fly was okay. It was actually
Right.
pretty good. But everyone else could fucking dash. So it was irrelevant.
Yeah, and that was the thing that they were really scared. Oh dang, Slick Tricks is saying a lot of Smash characters have suffered that too scared to make them too good kind of situation.
Well, I mean, because they have precedent. Like, you look at some of the characters in Melee, and more importantly, you look at Meta Knight in Brawl, and if you take Meta Knight out of the equation, Smash in fucking Snake in Brawl.
Yeah,
That character was a fucking problem, even without Meta Knight.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, Smash games have to tread real lightly because it takes almost nothing to break a character. Because they also have to figure in the stuff like percentages and how far knockback is. Because people playing Melee are like, I'm allowed to do this combo because he's under 30%. But if he gets over 30%, my whole combo changes.
Right. Is it Steve in Smash Brothers right now? Like considered the broken character?
Universally fucking hated. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, kind of like how Bayonetta was at the end of the last Smash, right? So,
but I mean, the thing is that at least Bayonetta in Smash 4 was just like Bayonetta in the games. Just mash the dodge a lot; it'll work eventually, and then you win.
Yeah, and had the original voice. Oh, okay. Anyways,
I am not entertaining that conversation right now.
Oh man,
I am only going to say all voice actors should be paid fairly. I'm cutting the conversation from there.
Fair, okay.
Not entertaining any of that shit right now.
Fair. Oh, man. But yeah, I mean, but what about Nako, right? Like, Nako obviously seemed really good, but it's just, her range is just not good enough, huh?
I'm still convinced she's good.
Really?
I am still convinced. The best parallel I can think is like Viper in Marvel or Dhalsim in Marvel 2, is that it's going to take a long time for people to actually open the character up for some specialist to Strider Doom the shit out of her and prove that she's actually fucking sick. But she does have shortcomings. She's not invincible. She's not she's not Kula 2. But
yeah.
I still am convinced that she has got just enough dirt in her to make herself a problem.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that's always tricky about Nako to me is I feel like she's a very expensive character. Like, a lot of her dirt is going to be EX Cling, EX Detach, which means you're going to be spending, a whole bar for a mix-up.
Not necessarily. So only one or the other. I don't think you need, if you're planning on EX Detaching, you don't necessarily need the EX Cling.
Okay.
But EX Cling has its own set of utilities. I don't think you necessarily have to run both. And even if you want to, one of the things I think is going to be a strength for Nako is actually Raw Max.
Raw Max, just activate it.
Max, so basically you can get maybe 5 or 6 EXs in the time frame.
Right, so you can go really nutso with that. And again, keep in mind that these characters still are only 3 weeks old at this point in time, so there is a lot to figure out.
On a game that does not have the hugest player base in the world, both because it's KOF and now because matchmaking has lost players.
Right, yeah.
But I mean, it's actually good.
But I mean, the other thing too is that Nako obviously. I mean, the one thing that I discovered quickly about KOF, you find all these awesome corner combos, you find all these cool pressure from crouching light kick and all that stuff. But the one thing that I found out quickly about KOF is that it's not that easy to get into those positions, right? To push people into the corner, to be right next to them for some crouching light kick mix-ups. Like, I was scared of the EX Bird crossing up, but boy, that's hard to set up,
Well, I mean, because the EX Bird cross-up only works on point blank versus crouching.
Yeah.
Because I even tested, if you do it on their Oki, their collision box while laying down is actually taller than that. So, but you can't even corpse hop them with it.
Dang. Okay. Yeah. So.
I mean, okay. Now, correction. That might be character specific. Like, there might be a short enough character, but the average size character, you can't corpse hop with.
Right. And what's interesting about that, though, is that, while she does seem like she's got a lot of dirt with those close range mix-ups, it's just going to be really hard to actually get those off, because it is hard to get next to somebody and kind of have that kind of... What was that?
Yeah.
Hello.
Okay, we have a guest coming in and to say hi over here. Hello, Kitty.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. I have
Hi.
a parade of puppies with me.
A
Oh.
lot of puppies.
There are 3 puppies in the room.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Look, we have to introduce.
Yeah,
we have to let our star come in first.
Yeah, okay. Here's our star people.
Our little rock
Oh,
boy.
look how puffy he is. Look how puffy
He's
he
so
is.
fluffy.
Oh, he's so puffy. He's so puffy. Oh, my goodness.
Say hi.
Hi. Say hello, my SNK family.
Hi,
They're
Rock.
right there. No, turn
Rock
to-
probably doesn't recognize me anymore at
right
this
in front
point.
of you.
So.
There's James. Where's James? Where's James?
He's looking out the door. He doesn't understand screens.
Yeah, I know. It's all good.
Okay. And then we have my favorite little hero. This is Mac.
Oh, cool.
This is Mac. He is basically Lil Brother from Homestar.
Yeah. So Mac has a few deformities from puppy mill inbreeding.
Oh, no.
This is his messed up foot.
Oh.
He lost some of his hair, but he is a sweetheart, and he's a little adorable little crease. He's got a little bit of breathing problems and stuff. I take care of him very well when we're here. Like, I washed and groomed all the dogs.
Now, what breed is Max? Is it a similar breed to Rock?
No, not at all. Rock is the shishu of the house, and again, until we get a DNA test for Rock, like I think he's a shichi. But Mac is a.
Don't look at me. I'm bloody now. He's Lil Brother. Got the heart of a champion.
He's a cockapoo.
Spaniel poodle.
No, he's like a cockapoo. And then we have the big chonk. Come here. Where's my chonk?
Under here.
Oh, come here, my Lolo.
Come here, Milo.
Come here, my Lolo.
There we go.
Oh, it's a big snowball.
Oh.
This is the boy version of Ella.
Oh my
So,
God. Hi.
This is Milo. Oh, my Lolo.
Oh, say hi. Don't worry.
Oh,
Oh, hi, Milo. Oh.
you're such a brat. This is Rock's new friend. Okay, all right. Hey, no playing right now. Too loud. Hey, this is Rock's new best friend. They love playing with each other and stuff. Huh, Lolo? Who's your squishy little fish? You was your squishy fish. This is the dog who I dressed up as KK Slider last year for Halloween.
Nice.
Hi.
Yeah, that seems appropriate.
Hi, my Lolo.
Hi.
He's so big and so
Dude,
big.
I love the stubby legs, dude. Just the chonk legs right there.
He's very chonky. His hair is grown out, so I had a lot of grooming during this week with the dogs.
I'll show off Jasmine. She's just been sleeping
Oh,
over here.
Hi, lazy girl.
Yeah, she's
Hi,
just
lazy
sleeping.
girl. I miss you. All right, all puppies out. Go on, go. Follow Mike. All puppies.
Puppy train going out the door here.
Go on, Milo. Milo's like, I want to stay.
Oh, now he wants to stay, huh? He just wants to do whatever you didn't want him to do, right? Basically.
Pretty much, but these dogs are keeping us busy.
Obviously, yeah.
It's really good that Rock can hang out with his cousins. So Milo's never played with any dog before until Rock.
Really? Like Milo doesn't even play with the other dog that was there?
Mac?
Mac,
no,
yeah,
they don't,
okay.
because he's very gentle with Mac.
Oh.
Is he?
He is being stubborn.
Okay, all right, leave Milo in here then. Oh. Why are you getting possessive over Mike? Really? Do you want to stream?
I think the dog wants to stream.
Or is he defensive about the ring?
He might be. I don't know. He doesn't even care about that toy. He's like, all right, okay, I guess.
I just watched Rock do a drift turn.
He can drift? Deja vu dog. So, okay, so you're going to stream with me then. All right, good Lord, Milo. He's a spoiled brat.
Oh man, what a dog. Maybe he just doesn't like me. Maybe he sees me on the camera and just doesn't like me. Yeah, he wants to give his.
Talk about SNK. Go on. Go on.
What do you think about Nakaruru? Would you rather prefer it if she was had the wolf instead of the bird? He's thinking. Yeah. Yep. Okay. So there you go.
So no, he's not a fan of the bird. Okay.
Yeah, definitely doesn't like Nak.
You can talk a little more, and then you're out of here, buddy.
Definitely doesn't like Mama Haha. So, do you think they should buff Haomaru, Darlie, and Nakaruru in the game? Yeah. No, pretty much. Yeah. No, I agree. I think that they were a little too scared.
A little too much.
Yeah, I think they probably could have buffed them a little bit, right? So good.
We're Darlie fans, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is Darlie your favorite?
Yes, Darlie. You like Darlie? Yes.
Is Darlie your favorite of the 3 characters?
Answer him. Do you prefer Darlie?
Yeah. I think Olaf agrees with that one for sure. I mean, might have been a little too risque of a comment here for the stream, but
I mean, you know what? Our dogs have opinions. They are cultured.
Yeah,
they are good doggos.
For sure.
All right. Do you have any future DLC thoughts on the next teams? Okay. So
he's got opinions on DLC.
Okay, good. All right, cool. I do too.
See, Oda, do you see how much he wants Team USA to show up? You see how passionate he got about Team USA?
Is that USA?
Yeah.
Here. Turn around so I see your face. All right, was that for Team USA? Yeah.
You wanted Team USA, right?
Look at how dead serious he is about this.
He's like, I said my piece about Team USA.
I said what I said.
I said my piece. Oh
okay,
my God.
Milo. So USA.
He's nodding. He's definitely nodding right now.
USA team, you want them confirmed. Tell Oda. Tell him you mean it. He means it. All right, he's done. He's mad. He's mad.
Did you hear how it like increased in like volume? He was like, "Arr, arr, arr." So he was like, USA, USA.
Our dogs are passionate about the games they play.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
All right. Thank you. Well, thank you, Milo, for being sharing his opinions on thoughts about Nako and DLC. So really,
he is glad he could be part of the stream, and he hopes like his thoughts on it get heard. That's the most important thing. So I mean, Rob's already got his favorite character in the game, so that doesn't matter.
Right.
But
yeah. I assume Mac doesn't have any opinion. He likes all characters, right? So
Mac just enjoys the game and has fun with his friends. He is a very casual gamer. He likes to watch. He's a spectator. He is a spectator. Unlike Milo here is serious about his shit, and Rock,
very opinionated Milo is as well. So
he's passionate about the things he loves. He really is.
My God.
No, baby. All right, get him away from Milo. Milo's all heated about the conversation.
I know, right? He's just thinking about.
Okay, let's get our puppies. Let's get the puppies out of here so we can get back to scheduled programming. Yeah, is it time for a break? Can we
do you want to do a break real quick?
Yeah, let's do a break real quick.
Okay, we'll do a break, get the dogs out of there. Milo's still, you could see it on his face.
Milo is not leaving the streaming room.
You can see it on his face. He really wants that team.
I really hope you clip that, please, somebody.
Oh, trust me, I'm clipping that out. So.
Okay.
All right. We'll be right back, guys, with some more Team Samurai thoughts and other stuff. Thank you for stopping by, Kitty.
Bye.
Oh, man. Jeez. All right, everybody. Welcome back to more Synchronize after the pointed... Wait, what?
But thank you.
Oh.
No, I'm back.
Oh, yeah. Well, I said we're back, right?
I thought you said welcome back.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Welcome back. There you go.
Welcome back.
But we definitely got some pointed opinions from Milo, so we'll definitely, yeah. So again, apologize to everybody out there. He was definitely a little adamant about some of the things that he said.
Well, I mean, his language is always a little rough around the edges.
Yeah. Man, okay. Anyways, let's go. Let's any other thoughts about Nako and Darlie and how...
Yeah, it's like she's got some pretty good pokes and pretty good normals. She's got a lot of like safe options, but she's got a lot of the same problem that kind of Darlie does, where, oh, you made a mistake, time to die. So she can get effed really quick. She also is kind of stubby. Same with like Hao is really stubby outside of his big sword normals, and you're really limited on some of your options. She can do stuff, but I don't know. I'm just convinced that she's actually pretty good, but probably not much higher tier than where people put like Geese.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I'm always scared about is Nako's going to do all these bird clean shenanigans, and Cronin is just going to delete that because his DP stays in place and hits above his head, you know?
So that is true, but a lot of people have found that like she might have the most safe jumps, like safe jump setups of the entire team.
That's right.
So that gives her kind of some extra juice.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, I really feel that she's a specialist character, and once she really gets unlocked, she's gonna be a really good ass character.
Okay.
The biggest thing is though is that I don't know what slot she wants to be in, because I agree with you, she does seem a little meter hungry.
Yeah, I don't think she can be point. Like, I don't think she can be a point character, right? Like, I feel like she's either got to be mid or anchor. But again, as a mid character, it's scary because she might steal all the meter away from a character like Cronin, right? Because sometimes you just like sitting with Cronin with 5 bars. So, you know, because
I mean, Cronin's an exception to a bunch of rules, though. Like, he builds his own meter way better than he has any right to.
And it's so crazy because it's like, when you talk about tiers and balances and all that stuff like that, it's almost like you can't really, you just got to remove Cronin from the conversation because he's such a unique position where it's clear, like I've said, if you don't have Cronin on your team and you're trying to win, you're wrong, right? Like you're wrong. Like, it doesn't matter, you know? Character obviously is too strong, and again, we still have no word on any potential balance patches coming out anytime soon, right? So,
which really hurts.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think it's cool maybe just to let the Samurai Showdown team, you know, stew a little bit, but you know, at this point,
I mean, yeah, if they've got a balance patch like kind of on deck and they're waiting for a month of Samurai to be out or something, like, all right, cool. You know, let them simmer and then rebalance from there.
Right.
You know, once the whole public accepts that they're not very good, give them some buffs, whatever. But, I mean, Cronin is like old school top tier. He is so insurmountable to so much of the cast. He does everything. And again, you know, Zhaohai jokingly puts him as a 15-point character. Like,
yeah.
Like, he's actually like, he is like Gato levels of dumb. Like 11 Gato.
Right. I mean, honestly, with all the recent fighting games, you know, like even a character like when Seth first dropped in 5, and even with how good Luke is in 5, like they're still like modern times best character in the game. Do you really feel like Cronin is like the most old school, like busted character in the game right now?
I think he is, at the very least, he is the closest to an old school top tier character that we've seen in a 2D fighting game in like 20 years.
Dang. Okay. Gotcha.
Like, because the thing is, any character who was anywhere near this clearly the best character in the game kind of thing also took like months or years to develop. Like Street Fighter 4 Seth took a long time to be a real problem app here.
Oh, I was talking more about Street Fighter V, Seth, when he first dropped.
I know.
So,
I was just kind of saying, for
okay.
characters that are like pretty fucking dumb.
Yeah.
It took a while for Seth to become kind of fucking dumb, and progressively got nerfed in every single game.
Right.
But it's not like, we had Street Fighter 4 Home Edition for a week, and we're like, oh, this character is really good.
Yeah.
Nobody said that.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, he's got a lot of cool tools, but if I screw up once, I die because he has Seth health.
Yeah. I mean, Casuela mentions Happy Chaos and Strive. And while I agree that Happy Chaos is pretty strong, Happy Chaos is also one of the hardest characters to use in that game, I still think, as well. So.
And I actually don't think he's quite as overbearing as Cronin, but Cronin is offset by being in a team game.
Right. So again, if KOF wasn't a team game, you would see a lot less Cronins because people just won't want to play him. But again, in a team game, you can play your two favorite characters and Cronin at the end, who can make up for any deficiencies you have. So
I mean, I think it's probably the biggest reason why it's less terrible that we don't have a balance patch, because you know actually what he is. He's like AE Yun. That's where he is. It's like, it's very clear that you either need to be playing AE Yun or someone that counters him. You can play Yang, you can play Fei Long, or you play Viper or Zangief, and great, that's the whole playable cast.
Yeah.
If KOF were 1v1, it would literally be like Kula, Cronin, Ashuro, Janae. And then Janae would basically be the specialist. They'd be like, I actually want to play the game rather than letting the game play for me.
Yeah.
And
then because it's a team game and there are some people who just want to win, rightfully so, they definitely have the Kula, Yashiro, Cronin team. It's just like...
Or Kula, Janae, Cronin. Yeah. I mean, how you do it.
I really did like the not tier list, but the list that Wowdy put out recently, where he was just saying like which characters need to be nerfed and which characters need to be buffed and stuff, and that list made a lot of sense.
The road characters are like, just give them a feather touch, whatever.
Yeah,
either direction is fine. They're kind of good as they are. And who needs the most help and who needs the most deletion, kind of thing.
Yeah, but I know like you and I have had that conversation about, is it the matchmaking or is it Cronin that feels like it's almost kind of done more damage to the game, and it's really difficult to say. But I mean, right now, from a casual standpoint, so I think the matchmaking hurt the casuals, and I think Cronin's hurting the pros. I think that's kind of the best way to describe it, honestly.
That's a really strong point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because especially, I'm gonna take the words out of your mouth on this one. Is one of the big problems with the matchmaking is it makes it much harder to stream this game. If you can't stream this game, you can't build bigger audience. You can't keep the lifeblood going. You can't have people continually invested in it. Because, I mean, I am one of many people who is proof of it's really hard to build a streaming audience on training mode.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I wanted, I would be playing KOF ranked on stream if I could play more than 4 people with.
Here's where I put my rank mode. If I had one.
Right, exactly. And, I mean, it was even it wasn't even just that the matchmaking was matching me with the same people, but I would wait 10 minutes, 15 minutes between. And one of the worst things about it is now, let's just say I was like, you know what? I don't care if I fight the same people. You're not going to run into anybody because nobody's playing ranked anymore. Literally nobody is playing ranked. And so
it's one of the same things that hurt Samurai Showdown. Mm-hmm. And both of those games are getting updated at the beginning of next year. I wonder why.
Yeah, I mean, the cool thing, though, is that, KOF 15, I feel like has enough people that are just like, I want to play this game, that if they were like, here's the fix, I think that will bring a decent audience back. But,
backtracking to other elements, too, I don't want to put words into other people's mouths, per se, because they may be working on the future DLC characters, but... Mm-hmm. If you have enough people working on the matchmaking and updating the netcode and this, that, and the crossplay, what is the art department team doing right now? What they could be doing is making alternate costumes that we can buy, which can then help fund improved matchmaking.
Yeah.
Admittedly, I could
Yeah.
very much be talking out of my ass.
Right.
But please let me buy costumes, shut up and take my money, and let me help invest in future expansions and more gameplay of this game.
Yeah. Oh man, it's again, we don't know how small the team is. I'm sure it's significantly smaller than we would like it to be. But at the same time, there's something weirdly going on, and yeah, Slick Trick says I unfortunately think a lot of casuals have moved on to other games, and and now that the Street Fighter 6 beta has come and gone, and everybody's just kind of tripping over themselves about that beta, you know what I mean? It's like it is a little bit scary time right now. For not just KOF, for a lot of fighting games, to be honest with you. Because, like, I mean, let's face it, where the hell did DNF Duel go, right? Like, DNF Duel just kind of, like, vanished off the face of the planet. And I really like that game, too, so...
I mean, DNF Duel, I think, is one of those games that runs into the problem that the people who paid to make that game happen weren't in it for any sort of long haul.
Right.
Because they're, basically they're the kind of company that's going to do like a mobile game or something. So they either one and done kick it out the door like it's a Super Nintendo game, or they nickel and dime you for all eternity.
Mm-hmm.
There's no gray area.
Yeah.
And so they went with the kick it out the door like it's on a cartridge.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because even Yipes is still running can opener stuff because he really enjoys the game DNF Duel, and stuff.
Okay.
But, what about like KOF 15? How many weeklies do we have for this game here? Because the netcode is great. Like, if you want to play against people that it's not like Sam Show in which the lobbies just literally didn't work, right?
I don't think, and especially with the fact that the most recent patch even upgraded the netcode further with the input delay settings.
That's right. Yeah.
So I have never encountered an unplayable match with someone I know. And we're talking like I play Ferlissimo regularly, who is in
Greece.
Europe.
Right.
Yeah, fucking Greece. The one time I've had an unplayable match, it's because I was at a place with unplayable internet.
Yeah, I remember that one. So.
Yeah, I'm still mad about that.
Yeah.
And I assume most of my opponents were too, and they have every right to be.
Right.
But that's not the netcode's fault. But like at a place with reasonable or good internet, I'm playing people around the world consistently, and the biggest problem is personal skill level.
Right.
Fucking awesome.
And so that's my question. I mean, even for people in the chat as well, do we know, like, what are the weekly tournaments? Is ICFC still running KOF at this point, or?
I don't know if it is. Tong Never Sleeps. They run it at least bi-weekly at the very least. I think it's still weekly.
Okay.
We've got Reiki Kito is running his, I think, or weekly or bi-weekly, which I think is in NorCal centralized, but it's an online league. Because he worked when they were running Ronin Rumble, and he took over a lot of that.
That's right.
He's now building a new KOF one.
Right.
I think there's at least one in like the New York region that, besides like if NLBC runs it, because I don't know for sure if they have it at the side event or not. I mean, I don't know because that doesn't happen online anymore.
Yeah, and I mean, and honestly, like especially with all the SNK fans we have in the chat, like I don't see anyone saying anything. So I'm assuming that most people are also unaware of any of the weekly online events or anything like that going on with KOF 15, and it's rough, man, because I mean there's definitely a lot of love put into this game, right? There's definitely Bum actually runs KOF every once in a while.
Chaos. Yeah.
Okay. Makes sense. Yeah, but again, it seems like that there really isn't also a lot of, push for weeklies and online tournaments for this game either, despite the fact that the netcode is good. And it's just one of those things that there's just not a lot of people out there running it, or word of mouth is not going, or is it just because, the casual interest in the game has definitely waned a lot just from kind of the, lack of Because I mean, DNF Duel, one of the reasons why that game kind of lost a lot of support is because we don't know if there's any updates, and Swiftmaster was kind of annoying, right? So, very annoying. Is that what?
Bullshit?
Yeah. Okay. Bullshit. But but yeah, KOF 15. Like I said, Cronin probably hurt a lot of the pros playing. But then, from the casual point of view, because no pros are streaming it, like I said, I've tried to raid KOF players all the time. And when I jump into Twitch, you just don't see. I mean, I managed to raid Coach Steve yesterday, but I think he was just doing training mode stuff as well,
I mean, and the fact is, though, is I do think there's an element of, we're in the post-COVID world. We don't have the same local weeklies that we did at one time.
Right.
And we don't have the same, community togetherness to see this stuff. We don't have as many people trying to see it through. And, I mean, as you've talked about, when you retweeted and talked about it, the third place. We don't have a third place right now for a lot of people in a lot of regions. And, sometimes our FGC weeklies, like Wednesday Night Fights, does that. And, the esports arena that the last Wednesday Night Fights were done at doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
It really doesn't.
And, and the crazy thing is, you talk to people like Vi and people who ran those things, it's actually kind of almost not worth it for them to run stuff like that anymore, because it was a lot of work. Like, people don't even, like, when you go to an event like a Wednesday Night Fights or a local and stuff like that, and you play till 1 a.m. and you're like, cool, sick, we're done and out of here and everything like that, you don't realize that everybody else who runs the event are still there till like 3 a.m. cleaning up.
And mind you, at least half of them have full-time jobs they have to wake up for.
Exactly. So, it is tough, and like if you can do similar.
By the way, this is in Southern California, where fuck you, it's an hour to get anywhere.
Yeah, we always used to tell the stories of a paradigm, right? I mean, like, even without traffic, he was driving 2 hours to get to the run back, and then 2 hours to go home afterwards.
Not even the worst one I knew.
Really? Who drove? I mean, it's like some people are coming from San Diego, right? So.
There's San Diego and Apple Valley.
Oh yeah, and actually,
you should know who that is, but I'm not gonna like tell people where he lives, like,
right.
But yeah, and that was like, that's still like, I think 3 hours no traffic, maybe more.
Yeah, but that's how much the allure was to go to those events. But again, it's just like you said, the pandemic really kind of just shook that whole paradigm up, and like
it shook our structures loose.
Yeah, exactly. Seru says that they're not going to UMACon, and UMACon's not having a KOF 15 tournament. Ugh, that's rough.
Watch them still have like a Jump Force tournament though.
Yeah, and actually Casuela brings this up about the regional bouts. Do you want to talk about the regional bouts?
The regional bouts.
Man.
So I'm going to open this up with. Okay, we all know how I feel about SNK. I love those guys. They do not have the best fucking track record when it comes to worldwide events.
Okay.
They don't.
Right.
And so as a way to, I feel, mitigate that, I think this is, at its core, a smarter idea. They're not doing it as a worldwide event inherently, or world tour event. They're doing them regionally. So they have picked out like different countries or sub-regions and saying, you're part of this region. And so that whole region is competing for, the top player in North America, the top player in South America, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And there's a lot of good that comes from that. It works out for a lot of like ensuring the netcode works, this, that, and the other. However, there are some really odd choices and some really disconcerting choices.
Okay.
So if you actually check the rules, first and foremost, look at that one right there above that.
Oops, sorry.
Okay, yeah, just go back. Southeast Asia is on Steam. Brazil is on Steam. Middle East, Steam. Latin America, Steam. North America, PS4 and PS5.
What the heck?
Europe, Steam. East Asia, PS4, PS5.
What the heck?
Now, the East Asia one might be because PC gaming is not as important in Japan as it is in other regions. So, I can stomach that. But if y'all are trying to tell me that PS4, PS5 has a larger player base in North America, I'm probably going to say bullshit. Did Sony maybe help with this decision? Maybe. I don't know. But without us having crossplay yet, running this event and telling North America it's restricted to PlayStation kind of fucking sucks.
Yeah, because obviously we still have the input lag issues on PlayStation, right? So this is
that, and isn't there still a tiny bit of jank connecting like a vanilla PS4 to a PS5 over the network?
That's right. That's right.
Offsets there, but let's move on and let's see what else is wrong. The countries or regions in each region, some of them are disappointing. Is how I think I'll say disappointing. That's what we'll go with. It's not on screen right now.
Oh, which one? What am I looking for?
Yeah, so we got North America.
Oh,
I
see.
US,
Okay.
Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, the Bahamas, Canada, Mexico. Yeah, all right, sure. Brazil is Brazil. You know what? It's a big fucking place. All right, cool. Latin America, Argentina, Bolivia, Chile, Colombia, Ecuador, Paraguay, Peru, Uruguay, Costa Rica, and Panama. All right, cool.
Casuela in the chat says this is weird because Costa Rica and Panama are kind of a little bit closer to like Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic and stuff, right? Like,
yeah,
my geography sucks, so I might be wrong, but
I'm wondering if there might be like a network infrastructure reason, or if it might be that I don't fucking know.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But Europe is a big fucking page. Let's point out, though, that Morocco and Turkey are there. Rionel is not terribly happy that he's on the Europe page, but he's okay.
Right.
Check out the Middle East, though.
Mm-hmm.
Saudi Arabia, UAE, Kuwait, Qatar, Bahrain, Jordan, and Iraq. Note the lack of Pakistan.
Oh, what? You're right. So is Pakistan not allowed to enter?
Seems that way.
Pakistan doesn't have a Oh, okay.
Well, Pakistan has players. We know that.
Oh, yeah, for sure we know that. Yeah,
So first and foremost, this is really kind of rough because that means that, Pakistan's players apparently get to take part. And, I'm wondering if this is more political than it is. I don't know, but that is a very disappointing thing to see. Right. And I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and speculate any further than the words that have come out of my mouth. But knowing that Pakistan is not involved is, I think, not the best choice. Right. That's pretty rough for a lot of players.
Yeah, because this is region means the following locations will be eligible, which is the assumption. And again, it would be nice to have an Ultra David here, to kind of talk about this. But the language of this makes it sound like that if you do not live in any of these countries, you are not allowed to participate, basically.
If you don't live in any of those regions.
Right.
Because, I think the verbiage there is pretty clever. Because also that way you can have, PR in there. Because PR is not a state, but it's not. Is it its own country because it's still a territory of the U.S.? But
yeah, it's still a territory. So
yeah, so saying it's a region. All right, cool.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah,
and then of course
exactly. Pakistan is South Asia, and SNK ignores that region kind of completely. Yeah, and a lot of fighting game devs do.
Yeah,
a lot of game devs do.
It's interesting because Southeast Asia right here, they got Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam. But that's it, right? They don't have, and then of course East Asia is just Japan, Korea, Hong Kong, Macau, Taiwan. So
it's not like, because the thing is, like, it's not like you're gonna have a region that says, Afghanistan and Pakistan can play, and then like just end the conversation there. So you either have to create a alternate Asia or you do the Middle East, because also like. I guess Russia doesn't play fighting games.
Yeah, I was about to say I don't see Russia here at all. I don't see Russia here, so interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this could just be a thing where they'll add countries to the list as they go along, but this is just their initial list, and hopefully maybe some people will.
I mean, who knows? Russia may have been cut for other reasons, correct? But who knows? I mean, even if that's on the list of reasons, then it really sucks seeing, again, civilians getting punished for government action. That's its own fucking can of worms that I'm not opening. But yeah, so there are some shortcomings to this, but I think at its core, it's got some good ideas, and I think that cutting it into these regions might open up a bit more freedom for some of how they're run, better, maybe interesting or regional commentary spots. Now, there could be a billion more things.
For this regional bouts thing, this is official SNK run tournaments, like CPT stuff, right? It's not World Warrior, right? This is
SNK run.
Okay. Gotcha. I do like the name regional bouts because if you take off Gian, then you get real bouts. I think that's kind of neat, but
You know what? I'm going to let you have that. Because they're real bouts.
Yeah, exactly. Man.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, follow SNK's Twitter because they're going to be talking about this as well as just other tournaments that they're helping support with their esports program. But yeah, so I really hope this thing goes well, but I also really hope they adjust fire on a few things to make sure that more regions get to play and play where they feel they should be playing.
Yeah. Again, one of the things about it is that, we are spoiled a little bit by events like TWT, like CPT, because they've been around for a long time. And so they can cover a lot more. Obviously these guys are kind of new to everything and they're trying to make everything work. So,
but they're kind of not. I mean, unless they've fired everyone and rehired a new team, because they've done world events multiple times. But they reinvent the wheel every single time.
Yeah, but remember, as you mentioned, those events haven't been necessarily like the most fleshed out kind of thing. So
yeah, I mean, maybe they just need to hire an esports director from another company that has experience, someone who's worked with it, or even someone from something like Red Bull Esports or something, someone who's seen all sides of it.
Right.
Bring in someone with, global experience to help run these things, just like they did with the netcode.
Bring in a 10-0 or, any of those companies out there, right? So, yeah. It's difficult because, I mean, it's another one of those things that, you feel like, oh, this shouldn't be that difficult to do.
Well, it's fucking hard.
Yeah.
But it also seems to me that if you have enough troubles enough times, that you can ask for help. Like if I try to work on my car and I screw up 5 times, I'm gonna finally talk to a mechanic. If I run a world tour that's badly received 3 or 4 times, I'm gonna ask someone with international esports experience.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Maybe maybe there's other reasons, there's other factors at play. Maybe they have talked to people. I don't know, but
again, to me, it just feels like all of it falls under the same thing that we've been talking about with balance patch and costumes and everything. Is I feel like their team is just probably so small, right? That it's really.
Well, I mean, in all fairness, this would be a different department, though. And
right. But I'm saying that department is probably small, too. And their budget's probably just not quite the same as, a lot of other groups to be able to hire a 10-0, because that's going to be expensive as well. So
yeah. But, I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things, like, sometimes it's better to run something small well than to run something big badly.
Yeah. No, for sure. Because you want to build that reputation. The reputation is very, very important. And as long as you run it well and it continues to improve, people see that. Like starting from the bottom and improving the entire way makes people realize that you're trying and it's improving. And so they have the encouragement to be able to, realize that, things can get better as time goes on, right? So
I mean, that's always, like I said, that's my concern, because it seems like they try to reinvent the wheel every year. Every year they run at like an international tournament, event, league, series, whatever. It's something completely different.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Fucking shout outs to letting people run KOF 98 as part of the international league. Cool. But, I mean, I guess maybe focusing only on the newest game and putting a spotlight on it has value. I totally think it does. But then when you take out regions that are playing the game, because they can with great netcode.
Yeah, especially with as much publicity as someone like Arslan Ash, right? I mean, Arslan Ash is a big name in fighting games right now, and whenever when he was traveling the US and playing KOF at all the events like DreamHack and Evo and stuff, people were following him and people wanted to know how Arslan Ash was doing. So
yeah, I mean, because also, I mean, it's not only the fact that he's a very strong player and he's done well in games and everything, but people love seeing crossover.
Yeah,
look how many people came over to our fighting games when Leffen came over.
Right.
And look at what a different audience and different spotlight that presented. Watching someone go from Tekken to KOF in their eyes, must have actually been a hell of a show.
Yeah. I mean, dude, like the amount of Smash fans who like Strive because of Leffen it's quite a bit, because he's always talking about Strive, because he's invested in it. And someone like Arslan Ash is absolutely invested in KOF, so.
Yeah, I mean, because technically I think he was still a KOF player first.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, again.
I think he was.
Okay. Because
I think he kind of grew up on 02 and then picked up Tekken.
Yeah, because Pakistan is definitely a KOF/Tekken country, so you could definitely grow up on either one of them and just kind of get sucked into the other one by the fact that the community plays both games. So,
yeah. I mean, I can't even imagine what it would be like to live there and have that experience of Geese getting added to Tekken. I know how I felt about it.
Oh man.
I'll still never forgive some of the audience who was there for Tekken, and they're like, "Who the fuck is this?" I was so mad. I got fucking hyped.
Hey, at least it wasn't who is this buff adult Pokemon trainer being added to Smash? So
The thing is that I'm past that, because there's just so much about some of those small insular Nintendo communities that forget other games exist.
Yeah, no, for sure.
That I don't even notice it anymore. I don't think they can actually sink any lower, is what it comes down to.
Damn. Okay. I see. Oh man.
Because conversely, I will always love Sakurai for basically his, all right, motherfuckers, listen up. He gave a half-hour presentation on why SNK is awesome.
Yeah, and he was just basically gushing the whole time, dude.
Yeah,
so.
And he's literally, Smash wouldn't exist if not for Fatal Fury and KOF. Fuck yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, but let's see what happens. I mean, hopefully they can start adding some of those other countries in there and such, but
I mean, obviously I'm not wishing bad upon anyone.
Right. We want this thing to go well. We do want this thing to go well, so.
And making some of those adjustments probably wouldn't hurt. But I'm also going to say probably wouldn't hurt, because I don't know what's going on in board.
Exactly. There could be behind the scenes stuff that we're not aware of, absolutely. And that's the case for a lot of things, right? It always, the world always seems like it's easier to do the things that you think is easy to do than it actually is, It always feels like
easier said than done exists for a reason.
Yep. Oh man. Well, do you want to move on to some other stuff? Talk about some figures and things like that. Merchandise, of course, one of our favorite things to talk about here.
Like stuff. Actually, can you open up the my tweets?
Oh, okay. Hang on one second.
We'll do that one first.
I'm trying to set this
because
up.
Because if you follow me on Twitter, you may have seen that I finally got my Blue Mary doll. Which will.
Where did you send it to me on?
On Discord.
On Discord. Oh, okay. Ah, yeah. There we go. Okay.
So obviously it's an item that includes Blue Mary, so I want it. So I got it.
Here's your box opening. Yay!
Which is currently right next to me, but I actually don't feel like opening up the whole thing and dolling it up and everything. But the box is really cool. And so that's the other promotional images and stuff like that. And I finally unboxed her the other day. And I was pleasantly surprised. Also, this thing's kind of fucking expensive. First and foremost.
This is brand new, right? This is not even a like an eBay find kind of thing. Like this
released this year.
Yeah.
We pre-ordered it a year ago.
Okay.
So this is one of those, like, it's got like the creepy real doll technology where she has like actual skin and like a layer of. I mean, honestly, like I said, she feels like a Stretch Armstrong with a skeleton.
Oh, weird. So she's
she's got a skeleton underneath that helps articulate and everything, but over that is like a vinyl and some sort of like gel or something. So she has like skin that moves, and when you bend the arm, it just moves the skin around it rather than having joints. And so she kind of she's like a fucking Terminator, like with the exoskeleton. Like that whole thing where he rips his hand off and shows the metal skeleton underneath. I imagine.
Gotcha. This base is cool though. I like the base.
Really cool. And then that the stick on the left side for the stand is actually it feels like one of those really old cables on a payphone. So it's like a coiled metal.
Yeah.
Really sturdy and bendable. And it screws into the base plate.
Dude, I wonder how many people know what that feels like, dude. Old payphone coils,
But you knew exactly what I meant.
No, I knew exactly what you meant when you said that. So,
and that screws into the base, and then the fucking jacket. It comes in its own Ziploc, folded up neatly in there. The jacket is zipped up,
and this is a real zipper.
Yes,
this is a real zipper, right?
So this thing is really fucking wild to me. Like there's a lot of detail I wasn't expecting, and I like the fact the jacket comes by default not on, so it's up to you. The paint on her pants is actually gold, so it's really shiny, and I have mixed opinions on that. It's kind of weird, but whatever. But everything you see other than her gloves and the boots is fabric. I didn't think that even the top was fabric, but it is.
Dang. Okay.
And then she comes with the two head sculpts.
Right. This one, which was
the default one, which I was pleasantly surprised with. The photos didn't make it seem like the best thing in the world, but I was actually content with it when I got it. But I was like, I know I like the other one. The other one looked good in the photos. And then when I got it, I was like, fuck, it's gorgeous.
Dude, the alternate head looks amazing, dude. It almost looks like they're made by two separate companies, A
little bit. But yeah, the production photos don't do either of them justice. Fuck, even my photos I don't think do. They look way better in person than like what I thought I was buying.
Right.
Like I already wanted the second head, and now I'm like, fuck, this is like perfect. It's gorgeous.
Do the eyes follow you at night?
I don't know.
Oh man, but yeah. So you haven't actually like you probably just put it right back in the box afterwards, right?
Yeah, I haven't swapped the hands. I haven't swapped the head. I haven't done anything too wild with the posing because I'm just not gonna have her up on display anywhere just yet.
Exactly. So,
but I was pleasantly surprised. I was really happy with her overall.
But I mean, it's just cool because, still continuing to own the majority of all the Blue Mary stuff. And now you're just waiting for the statue with the Anton dog, right? So
and I need the Storm Collectibles figure comes out next month.
Oh,
I believe.
okay.
And yeah, then it's just like nitpicking and hunting old stuff. Obviously, I have a fucking shopping cart full in Zen Market right now that even has. I finally managed to get the Real Bout 2 Gamist Mook for a reasonable price.
Oh, dang.
Um,
Okay.
and this is going to be my semi-regular Zen Market plug because I love those guys and they're awesome and they keep fulfilling all of my money spending collecting needs because I'm an idiot. And also, don't forget, the yen is at an all-time low right now. So if you're an American, now's the time to blow money.
And we have a landing page on Zen Market's website here, so
Which you could totally use and get some an extra few bucks towards your orders and everything, which is a good idea. But yeah, no, the yen is, compared to the dollar, the yen is at an all-time low. It's like 160 or something to the dollar now. It's brutal.
I'm gonna type in the thing into the chat. Tiny URL Zen Synchronize here, like that. That should be the site.
That was it.
Yeah, that should be the market right there. Because I typed that in and I got the right one. So
yeah.
So
use our affiliate code and do cool things. But seriously, like if you want to buy some stuff from Japan, now's the time to do it because the yen is weaker. Also, like, okay, look, I'm just gonna just tell y'all right now. There are some figures for My Hero Academia that me and Kitty were looking at. The Mirko, the bunny girl, she got a figure finally from one of the Kujis at like 7-Eleven.
Oh, okay.
On eBay, that shit is like $80 to $100 a pop. We picked up one on Zen Market that had the figure and like 5 other prizes from the Kuji for grand total like $35.
There you go. You don't have to buy foreign products from Japan on eBay if you know about Zen Market. So
buy it from like Yahoo Japan auctions and pay the shipping yourself, and it's going to be cheaper than buying half of that shit from resellers on American eBay.
Yeah. So there you go.
So,
okay.
So with that in mind of buying more crap you don't need, I'm excited to show you the most on-brand synchronized item I think I've ever seen in my life. Okay, first and foremost, shout outs to Felicimo because she's the one who found this and promptly sent it to me and James.
Yeah.
And, I don't want to describe it. I don't want to say anything. I just want you to bring up the video and send it over. And this is the most synchronized thing I think I've ever seen.
All right.
Metal Slug, yeah!
And what do we have here? And it's complicated too.
Oh my god. Metal Slug Transformer.
Dude, a Metal Slug Transformer. Oh, man.
So it is officially licensed SNK merch. It is not an official Transformers Transformer.
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That is a changing robot. That's a fucking Transformer.
And next to the mech
Mecha Mai, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, that look, they did it for us, okay? They did the SNK Transformers crossover for us. So there you go.
And I'm not gonna lie, I really would like to have that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look for this on Zen Market, you know what I mean, just to see.
I mean, again, it's not out yet, but its MSRP is about $80.
Okay.
I'm really debating it. I want it. I probably shouldn't justify it, but Fuck, that's cool.
I'm just surprised at like how complex the transformation is, right? They didn't skip out on that. It could have been real, like it's really easy to make lazy transformers, but like it is definitely not a lazy transformer at all. That's a good question. How big is it? I mean,
I think he's like average Megatron Optimus Prime size.
I mean, if we're judging from this over here, and
Yeah.
assuming that these are, you know, both the same size because you see the background right there
So
didn't change.
probably, like untransformed, like in tank mode, it's probably a good 6-7 inches.
Yeah, because this was about as tall as the PSP was, about like a little more than halfway, like maybe 60% of the height there, because you can see it zoom out a little here. Yeah, see, it's about like 60% of the, maybe even 50%.
If you check the description of the video, they actually have the website link.
Oh, okay,
You can
okay,
check all the technical details and have like some of the other photos.
Okay, here we go.
They have the production photos and stuff like that. So yeah, currently $80. You might like. Here's our video.
More
And then
videos.
going up to like earlier photos.
It's also very posable too.
Yeah, dude, he's so rad.
Oh man. Just trying to find all the details on it now.
Actually, wait, go back.
I do like their fake Transformers logo here too, as well. You know,
It's like a distributor and fan site. So go back up a little bit, like 2 or 3, because they have the person holding the tank.
Oh yeah.
That
Okay.
gives you a little bit better idea. So he actually might be a little smaller than that, but not unreasonably so.
Yeah, I mean, transformed. I mean, that looks pretty decent size, to be honest.
Yeah.
So if I scroll all the way to, there's a lot of pictures. Holy crap!
And there's the prototypes from like Wonderfest or something.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. So it looks like this person maybe got like an early one or something like that. But I'm trying to see if there's any description of how.
Just search for CM.
CM.
Like centimeters.
Oh, okay. Nope, doesn't look like there's anything on there for that. So I don't think there's any sort of height information right now. But it is definitely, you could definitely buy it now, it looks like. So does that mean it's out now? It might have actually been released.
It might have just released. I think it actually just released like this week or something.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. But there you go, Transformer.
Oh, cool.
Free shipping for us? Oh, free shipping to United States. Check that out. Okay. I'll have to definitely look into that. So.
Yeah. I mean, again, like, I don't know if I can swing $80 right now, but.
Yeah.
Fuck, it's so cool.
It's just, you got to wonder who was the one who was just like, you know what? We need to turn the metal slug tank into a transformer. Like, who thought of that besides me, you know? Like, I mean, exactly.
I mean, I'm just really glad that there are people out there scooping up these licenses and doing cool shit with them.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even mad about that, like, Robot Ninja Mai, because that's something different. Like
the Gundam Mai, you mean?
Yeah. Totally fine with that. Like, that's a different take. All right, cool. You want to get a Metal Slug figure? All right, sweet. Hell yeah. I always want a Metal Slug. It's a Transformer. Oh.
Now, I did see that there was also a Athena statue that, like...
Yes, so it just... I think it just went up for pre-order. It's about to go on pre-order. It's another one of the, like, big, giant SNK Heroines Athena. It doesn't do the thing that we've griped a little bit about, where the face doesn't look anything like the character. It's just more of a woman cosplaying it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, like, still a really cool statue. And obviously you could get it from our buddies at Spec Fiction using our affiliate codes and links that we probably should share as well. But yeah, like, that face does not look like Athena.
Yeah. I mean, it's just
The chest does not either.
It definitely looks like somebody else cosplaying as Athena for sure.
Yeah, but it's a really pretty statue.
Or it's like it's Athena's mom or something, you know? Oh man.
Junko Asamiya. Here for it.
What is Is she standing on a bunch of pancakes? I mean, what?
Giant pastry stack of some kind, yeah.
Yeah, because those are different, like blueberries and stuff. So, okay.
But so yeah, and I mean, I think that's all that's actually come out in the past few weeks that's really worth debating. But yeah, the Mary Doll's neat. The Metal Slug Transformer's fucking awesome. And that Athena is attractive, but I'm not sure it's Athena.
Oh, man. Because I always forget, how old is Athena supposed to be?
And ranges anywhere from like 16 to like, I think she might be allowed to be 22 now, but then probably got retconned back to 17.
Right, because that's always a tricky thing, right? Because obviously they go by years, but the characters don't really age, right?
I mean, they used to a little bit. They just, ever since like the end of 11, they've been hit with the Franklin Richards problem.
Right,
Where
yeah.
it's like now they're definitely not aging at all. Some of them are getting rebooted, you know.
It's you know, me and my brother, because we used to draw comic strips all the time, right? It's the comic strip problem, right? That the characters never get any older, but they've lived enough storylines and stuff for like 9 years worth of adventures, but they just don't get any older. I mean, you had the rare ones, like For Better or For Worse, that actually did age the characters to the point where they grew up and got married and had their own kids and stuff.
Or,
but
you know, like Spider-Man used to.
Oh, right, until
Spider-Man went from high school to college graduate to married and college professor and all this.
He never had a kid, though, right? Like, him and MJ never...
We're not having that conversation. It's a very complicated question.
Okay, fair enough. Yep, and then one more day happened.
Marvel used to actually be really good about this.
And I forget, on One More Day, they retconned him back into high school or college, or just the young newspaper guy?
I don't remember what they retconned him back to, but what all that mattered is that they got rid of him being married to MJ and getting rid of to get rid of Aunt May's death.
Right. Yeah.
Which nobody wanted. By the way, though, oh my God, did you see the news about someone who may be cast as someone in MCU?
Well, I saw the Thunderbolt Ross replacement, but that's probably not the one.
Which is cool. It's cool, but
oh, are you talking about the Mephisto? The Mephisto one? Very nice.
The best jokes have been One More Day jokes. Want you to bring back Aunt May. What is your price? Your wife.
Yeah. Oh man. Jeez.
Oh my God.
Oh, but
So
I mean,
good.
yeah. I mean, the One More Day thing. I mean, did they kill Aunt May to facilitate One More Day, or was that someone afterwards doing that?
I don't know if it was a correlation or causation, but it all came down to it's Joe Quesada's fault.
Right. Because it was what? After Civil War, you know, he was on the side of registering, so then they knew who he was, and then Kingpin...
He was a flip-flopper.
Oh, he was...
He was a flip-flopper.
Okay, but eventually he registered. People found out. Kingpin killed Aunt May. He goes, makes the deal with Mephisto, and then everything resets, and now no one ages anymore, basically, right?
Oh, that shit, the no aging was way before that.
Oh, okay, got
That's
it.
why I referenced Franklin Richards. It's an ongoing theory in the Marvel Universe that everyone and all their canon and aging, all of that shit mattered until the day Franklin Richards was born. Because Franklin Richards has reality manipulation powers, and it's the only way that they can make sense of the fact that suddenly everyone stopped aging in Marvel and all continuity went to shit.
Oh, man.
It's like, I mean, literally, like, you have the points, you know, after that and everything. You want to talk about comics and people having, like, 9 years of adventures and whatever and not aging. Wolverine was on, like, 10 teams at the same time. Wolverine was literally like on the Avengers and X-Force and both X-Men teams and still another team. Like,
right,
it's like,
probably like some Avenger teams and like other.
yeah, because he literally was an Avenger and both X-Men teams, and that's right. No, and then he was in his own solo comic, and then he was still a regular in like 2 or 3 other comics. There is literally not enough time in the day for Wolverine to exist during those years.
One more day and many more Wolverines.
The greatest line ever to come out of Deadpool's mouth before he turned into the fourth wall breaker that we know now, where he's kind of nuts.
Right.
Deadpool had this great line where we're going to try to rip his healing factor out of him to save someone's life. And he's like, really? You need me? Can't you just take 2 Wolverines and call me in the morning?
Nice. Oh, man.
I don't know if he was in Alpha Flight at the time, but he might have been. But yeah, no.
But that was just basically at the height of Wolverine popularity, so he was in everything, right?
Well, and then like all the downturn too. This was like most of the 90s and part of the early 2000s.
Yeah. Is there? A lot of people credit the X-Men cartoon for adding to Wolverine's popularity, or?
Probably. I mean, they should. And he just put an extra spotlight on him. But I mean, Wolverine was already popular and cool by then anyway. That's why, like, he had his solo NES game before the cartoon started.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Definitely the cool guy if you were reading comics, but the cartoon definitely would have like made him more mainstream.
Right. Oh man, freaking Wolverine, dude. Ugh. People didn't like Cyclops. Yeah, the low, gruff voice of Wolverine definitely came from the cartoon. Yeah.
Yeah, well, because also don't forget in Pride of the X-Men before that he just sounded Australian.
Oh, really? He just sounded Australian, huh?
What's a Canadian accent? I don't know. You're wearing a hat.
He just sounded Australian. I mean, makes sense, right? Isn't Hugh Jackman Australian, right? So maybe that's why they...
and then you get one of his other voice actors who was like an Australian cowboy.
I guess Wolverine is, secretly Australian this whole time.
If you ever meet Scott McNeil, you're just like, are you an Australian cowboy? And he might say yes.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's true. He was also in Japan for a while and all that. Dude, Wolverine was... that would be the old... Because remember, like, I know, like, the Spider-Verse stuff went insane and just kind of created that whole thing where there's, like, there has to be a Spider-Man in every multiverse, and there was, like, the spider, the master web that they had to protect and all this other stuff. And, maybe that's they need to do that with Wolverine now and actually prove that, someone's like, wait a minute, Wolverine couldn't possibly have been in all these situations at the same time, and then someone uncovers the truth that there's like 5 Wolverines on Earth.
No, the thing is that it's more likely than you think, because the current comics Wolverine isn't even the Wolverine we grew up with.
Who is he now?
Don't worry about it. We'll have that conversation later.
Okay. Jesus.
So enough about pizza cutter ass characters, all edge and no point.
Let's go, Bob. All right.
Unacceptable.
Oh man, Drill Claw. That's all I remember, because in Children of the Atom, Drill Claw, after he bounced off of you, he could just fully block and do moves and stuff. So he was totally safe, But every character was broken in that game. Only biggest problem is that Wolverine's super was one of the best, and everyone could alpha counter with their super, and so Wolverine was absolutely terrifying. So.
It's a busted ass game. Good times.
Yo, Children of the Atom was so broken. Oh my god. People had no idea how broken that game was, dude. Even though there's one super meter, I had a combo that I could do like 5 Berserker Barrages with Wolverine in one combo, because if he hit the wall, he stopped, and the Berserker Barrage actually drained the super meter with each swipe. So that's how it drained the whole thing. So he would go 1, 2, stop, and he wouldn't drain the whole thing. Then you can go strong, 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 berserker barrage, dash up, strong, 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 berserker barrage, and like you could just keep going crazy, dude. Sabretooth was not in Children of the Atom Razalicious, so there is a.
So yeah, Weapon X is a really cool super.
Yeah. I mean, it was. I feel like Weapon X, that and Charging Star always felt like Capcom's first real, like, Rambo supers. No, I guess Darkness Illusion would count as that.
Final Justice.
Final Justice, yeah. But actually, now that I think about it, that's definitely Darkness Illusion. Darkness Illusion is their first Rambo super.
Not only is it the first Rambo, but it's also the first use of the Raging Demon input.
Yep, before Alpha, that's right. Wait, I mean, SNK had the Rambo super before Morrigan's, right? Or did Morrigan come?
Could be, yeah. Because like just Art of Fighting existed.
Yeah, exactly.
I think actually Fatal Fury 2 would still qualify, maybe otherwise. So yeah. Art of Fighting 1 and Fatal Fury 2, I think both like beat that by a while.
Yeah.
But the Raging Demon input and it being Capcom's first Rambo probably is Darkness Illusion.
Yeah. That's what I figured. So it was the first time we've seen something like that. And I always appreciated the fact that in CVS2, it triggers when you parry the first hit just so you can try parrying the whole thing. Because it could have just been parry, bounce off, but they're like, we know you want to try.
Yeah, and then they were like, by the way, some of these are lows.
Oh, man.
All right, I think we should wrap it up.
All right, sounds good. But yeah, let's hope we get a balance patch soon for KOF 15. That's all I'm gonna say. Because we definitely need to nerf some Cronin. Even if they don't buff the Sam Show team right away, like if they just came out with a patch that only nerfed Cronin, I think we would be happy.
No, top five need to go.
Okay, fair enough. So, what should we close out on today?
I think I kind of want to be selfish and do the character select music from King of Fighters Maximum Impact Regulation A because it was not one of the songs added at the Max Impact playlist.
So King of Fighter, I say KOF Maximum Impact Character Select is what I
want
picked.
The Regulation A one, which is like something come on.
Regulate. Oh wait, I think I see that. The usual come on, right? Is it? Oh, that's an ad. Hang on a second. Hang on. Unless you want to hear the ad for the cold sore bandages here.
Oh, man.
Different one? Okay. A persistent come on.
That's the one.
There you go. All right. See you guys next time. Peace out.